Let's talk about a word we all think we understand: rich. Today, we're going to peel back the layers on that idea and really explore what it means to be wealthy in our world right now.
But before we get into any of the numbers, I want to ask you a simple question. My friend, what does rich actually mean to you? Seriously, is it about what you can buy, or is it something deeper? Because your answer to that changes everything.
You know, we've all been there. Scrolling online, you see the perfect vacations, the incredible cars, the whole lifestyle. And it's so easy to think, wow, that's it. That's wealth. But so much of that, it's just a show. It's a performance. That person with the six-figure car could be one paycheck away from disaster, completely drowning in debt.
And that brings us to the great illusion of wealth. This is the trap. It's the reason so many people work their entire lives and never get there. They're chasing the shadow, the appearance of wealth, instead of the real thing.
So let's get right into it. The single biggest mistake people make is focusing on income. They think a big salary means they're rich, but a high income, while it's nice, it doesn't make you wealthy. Real financial strength, true wealth, isn't about what you earn, it's about what you own.
So let's start where most people do, the income ladder. This is how society usually keeps score. We're going to look at the hard numbers that define who sits where on this ladder, at least here in America.
Okay, look at this number, $83,730. That is the median household income. This is the exact middle. If your family brings in more than this, you're officially in the top half of the country. You're doing better than average.
Now, let's see what it takes to climb higher. To get into the top quarter, your household needs to make about $150,000. To break into the top 10%, that number jumps to over $250,000. The top 5%, you're looking at more than $335,000. And that tiny elite club, the top 1%, that requires a household income of over $659,000 a year.
But here's the key, and I need you to really let this sink in. High income does not equal wealth. Those are just numbers on a paycheck. They don't tell you the real story. You could be earning $250,000 a year and still be completely, utterly broke, spending every dime just to keep up appearances. And this is why we have to shift our focus.
So, let's talk about the reality. Let's talk about net worth. This isn't the illusion. This is the true measure of where you stand financially. This is the number that actually matters.
And the formula couldn't be simpler. You just take everything you own, your house, your savings, your investments, all of it, and you subtract everything you owe, your mortgage, student loans, any debt you have. What's left over? That's it. That is your net worth.
And this chart, wow, this really shows you the difference. The median household, remember, earns about $84,000 a year. But look at their net worth. It's almost $200,000. Even for the most average person, their assets are worth more than double what they make in a year.
Now look at this. This is the real ladder. To get into the top 10% of by income, you need that $250,000 salary. But to get into the top 10% of actual wealth, you need a net worth of $1.9 million. And the jump to the top 1% is it's astronomical. An income of $659,000 gets you in the door, but you need a net worth of over $11.6 million to be in that same league. It's not a step up, it's a different universe. Just think about that for a second. The gap in actual wealth between someone in the top 10% and someone in the top 1% is almost $10 million. We're not talking about a simple climb anymore. This is a different stratosphere. It requires a completely different way of thinking about money.
You see, this journey up the net worth ladder isn't just about the numbers getting bigger. It's a fundamental change in your entire mindset. It's about moving from a state of constant survival to a state of genuine security, and eventually, freedom.
For most people in the bottom half, life is survival mode. You're just trying to keep your head above water. One flat tire can feel like a catastrophe. When you move into the top half, you hit stability. You can finally take a breath. But reaching the top 25%, that's security. Now you're not just surviving, you're actively building something. But the final step, into the top 10% and beyond, that's freedom. That's the real goal.
Because this is the secret. This is the fundamental shift. True wealth isn't about working harder for a bigger paycheck. It's about getting to the point where your assets start working for you. Your money starts earning its own money. That's the game changer. That's what separates the merely comfortable from the truly wealthy.
Which brings us to the most important lesson of all, understanding the huge difference between being rich and being wealthy. And trust me, they are not the same thing. Let's just break it down. Being rich is all about income. It's measured in dollars per year. It's often temporary, and it encourages you to spend to keep up that lifestyle. Wealthy, on the other hand, is about net worth. It's measured by your total assets. It's built to last, sometimes for generations. And it comes from a mindset that's obsessed with acquiring assets, not just spending income.
Here's a perfect example. Imagine two people. Both earn $100,000 a year for their entire career. Same job, same income. One focuses on being rich, the nice car, the big house, and retires with $300,000. The other focuses on being wealthy, building assets, and retires with $3 million. The difference wasn't their salary, it was their mindset. So my friend, now you see it. You see the numbers, you understand the different mindsets, and you know the critical difference between the illusion and the reality. The path forward from here, well, that's a choice. And that choice is now yours. Will you keep chasing the shadow, the fragile, temporary appearance of wealth? Or will you decide right now to start building the real thing? Durable, lasting wealth that gives you not just security, but true, unshakable freedom. If this gave you a new way to think about wealth, help someone else find that clarity by liking and sharing it. And to continue on this path with us, make sure you subscribe to The Wise Cut. Now, I'd like to hear from you. What's one thing you'll change about your mindset after watching this? Let me know in the comments below.